What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 32 of the Founder Academy. So, part 2, is it episode 32? I'm getting all the mixed up parts and episodes and whatever. It doesn't matter. You guys will see it in the title. It doesn't really matter either way. But this is the second half of our journey to the 90-plus team of the season objective, I guess. So you saw the first 5 games in the last episode, and now you are seeing the second part of that, where you're seeing games 6 through 10. So before we jump into all the gameplay, guys, I noticed that some of the video views are picking up, which I really appreciate. Thank you very much. But, you know, if you're not already, please hit follow on the channel. You know, I don't want to force anybody to do anything, so it's just a friendly ask. It helps grow the channel a lot, but at the same time, you know, a lot of the viewership is just coming as one-offs, which is okay. I prefer people watching it and liking the content more than anything. You know, it's not the end of the world if you guys don't, but it is helping me grow this channel, and I'm really enjoying creating these videos, especially this late in FIFA. You know, I love this time of FIFA because it's when all the great cards are out and you see some really cool teams. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying it, you know, why not hit that follow button? So, and also hit like down below on the video, please. Thank you. Just a friendly ask from me, but helps a lot. Every little bit helps because my channel is kind of a smaller one at this point, and every like and every follow and every share helps. So I won't ask again. That's just every once in a while I like to do it. So I appreciate you guys watching the videos and helping support. So enough of that. Let's get into the actual FIFA gameplay, what you guys are here for. So this first game was an interesting one. So this guy, decent player, we ended up taking a red card, which is a crazy rarity. You will almost never see me take reds. I very rarely get yellows, to be totally honest with you. Like, it's a pretty rare thing for me to get yellows. I'll fly into tackles, but usually I'm quite conservative about my tackling. I don't like to just fly into things because it pulls guys out of position. They're on the ground, and next thing you know, you're getting counterattacked with odd man rushes and stuff like that. So 2 slide tackles from Ndombele. My fault. I thought the second one, I didn't think it was actually a red. Like, I thought it was timed really, or sorry, I didn't think it was a yellow. I thought it was timed really well, but the way the game happened, he took a final touch, and you know, it could have been 50-50. I've done that tackle 100 times, and you know, 95% of those like will be clean, get the ball first, but sometimes you just can't, like, you can't tell where the tackle is going to go. Sometimes it goes through the guy in order to get to the ball, and then sometimes the guy will just get the ball away before. So we end up taking a red and going a man down. I didn't feel a whole lot of benefit. I've said this a million times that your team actually gets beastly in the defensive end. I didn't feel that as much, but who knows, right? Like, that's me saying it, but I'm usually pretty honest about that stuff. I say if my team is getting like a real competitive advantage. I didn't feel too much of one in this, but you know, you might have to ask my opponent that, whether he felt something. So he ended up tying it with a kind of a cheesy header, and then he ends up scoring that one quite late, which I thought was going to be the end of the game, but we're the FUT founder, right? Like, we can't have that. So I am pressing, even a man down. I went ultra attacking. Thought I had a goal here. Bruno Fernandes, not the greatest finisher in the world, but a good goal scorer. But, you know, I thought that was going to be my last chance. This guy was really panicking. No offense to him, but I didn't think he deserved a win. So you can tell by his defending, he was doing every trick in the book to try to grind out this win, but very deserved equalizer on I felt on my part. He was just flying in, going super aggressive, and just trying to abuse all these tactics. So it was a very satisfying late goal, and I actually thought I had another break on here, but they called the end of the game. I'm okay with that because I was sitting in defensive mode. I knew I wasn't going to get too many more chances. I was going to try to just counterattack, which not a fan of, but I also have to be smart here, right? I'm a man down, playing against a hyper-aggressive guy. If I stayed aggressive, he would have gotten a late win, and I'd rather have the draw than a win. Even though I hate draws, I'd rather have the draw than the win. And then we come up against this guy, Real Mendo FC. So this was a very interesting game. This guy actually is, as you can see, he's doing the objective as well. He's got 3 Bundesliga players in there. Red Jadon Sancho, so he's a FUT Champs player. Most of these guys are FUT Champs players, but you're not seeing too many reds in Division 5. The odd team has them, but not everybody. So lucky pull on his part. But he did have his other 2 Bundesliga players as silvers, which I don't know if he took out, to be totally honest with you. I can't remember him taking them out, but I also don't remember seeing them. But normally these guys pause it right off the kickoff, and he didn't do that. So he obviously was willing to at least try to play with them. Yeah, this was a very interesting game. This guy was actually one of the better opponents we played during this episode. The score line that you're going to see at the end, I don't think is reflective of this game. So from the highlights, it looks pretty one-sided. The first half was pretty back and forth. I thought he should have been punished there for that. Played it back to his keeper, and instead of my player taking the ball, he went and bodied the keeper, which was really bizarre. It was a weird animation, but whatever, not the end of the world. A very tight first half. I had some opportunities. He had some opportunities, but it was more in the way this guy played. I've said this a million times. I try to be very honest with, my opinions on things. When I say a lot, I didn't think this guy was a good player, but it's not because he beat me or some guy wins and I lose or he's causing me problems. I'm pretty honest about guys that I just think are good players, and I thought this guy was a really good player. This scoreline is not going to reflect the gameplay, right? So spoiler alert, I end up winning this. I'm not going to show you guys the score until you actually see it in game, but as you can see by his ball movement, right, the guy was a decent player, and I can tell by the way he's defending too. He's not rushing in, he's keeping some shape, he's choosing moments to be aggressive, he's not just abusing the custom tactics like a lot of these other players are doing. He's actually trying to be intelligent with his player switching and his player movement. He was pulling the right guys out of position at the right times. So this guy was very deservingly at 0-0 with me after the first half because, I consider myself a decent FIFA player too. But there you go, the score lines. 3 shots, no goals. I don't think any were 3 on target. 3 shots, 3 on target. I can't remember the order. But, he actually had more possession than me in that first half. Even though I think that should ideally be a red card because I was through, the way the game programs it is, I guess he did take his player off because he has Sergio Ramos and Maldini. But when you're through, if you're not the last man, it will just be a yellow. They only give reds when you're clear through on goal and they tackle you from behind. When you're the last man, when you're not the last man, it will just give you a yellow. So there was actually a player streaking down the right, and he had his defender there. But you can see he's trying to be quite methodical with his defending. I got a little lucky there, but I also felt that was deserved. I waited out the pass. I didn't just force across. A lot of people are just running down and just forcing it, and it's seeing eyes its way through all these tacklers. But, I was waiting. I knew that he was trying to cut the passing lane, so I was patiently cutting back and forth, hit the byline, waited till my player moved back, and then thankfully I was rewarded for it. So I feel like this FIFA does reward you sometimes for making those right plays. Even here, he probably even got a little unlucky there because the Sergio Ramos could have easily just threw out a leg and picked that off. A lot of times that happens, but again, waited for the run to develop, and I felt like I was rewarded for it. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say rewarded for it, I did get a little lucky, right? Like I said, his Sergio Ramos could have blocked that, but he didn't, right? So I'm going to take that, and that's the type of stuff that I want to see in FIFA, even when it's against me, waiting for the run to develop and actually being rewarded for it, not just hitting some blind random nonsense. So we are up 2-0, and then I played a nice little lob through ball, and I think at that moment his brain was just I'm done with this. This guy's, I'm not going to get back in this game, because I was through on the breakaway, and you could see his player run, and then he just kind of stopped. So at this point now, after that third goal, I'm just playing against the computer here, which was, I think he just went ultra defensive and then really aggressive, and then just put the stick. I think he put a rubber band, or he just would hold up while he was doing something. He wasn't really paying attention. He was just holding up on the controller. He wasn't really trying, because every time he would get the ball, it would just turn and just walk it until it would get out of bounds. So I don't know if he put a rubber band on it or what he was doing, but believe me, it was very annoying because even when the defenders, which are overpowered already, steal the ball from you, they just stand there. And how many times have you guys been trying to get a ball from a defender and you're doing this and you're bouncing off of them and it's just circling around? That's the most infuriating thing in the world. And every time he would get the ball, his player would walk, and my guy would be doing this as the guy walks off the field. So it was so frustrating, but, what are you going to do? But we do unlock the second of 4 Team of the Season players, which was really exciting. So who are we going to get? Mexico, kind of whamp whamp. What am I going to do with a Mexican player? I can't think of any that I'd really want. No offense to Mexico, there's just not any Team of the Seasons that are going to fit. But when I saw the right wing in Los Angeles, I was actually kind of excited. Carlos Vela is not a guy who's going to fit in our team, obviously. But I like building MLS teams. I'm not going to build an MLS team, but the reason I bring that up is I've used him before, and I enjoyed him, right? I liked having Carlos Vela in my squad. He's a very good card. He's only 3-star skill, 4-star skill, 3-star weak foot, so he does leave a little to be desired, but he is a really, really solid finisher if you get the ball in his left. So I'm going to bring him on as a super sub and try him out. I've got a lot of super subs, and more are coming from future episodes, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I'm not going to spoil who we get in. So I filmed this stuff on Wednesday, and we actually packed someone really good on Thursday. So as soon as I start bitching and moaning about blind pack weights, we end up packing a couple guys in a row. So I'm not going to spoil them. You guys will have to wait till the next episode. A little teaser there. But yeah, we have started packing some stuff. But we have a lot of stuff in the club too. You know, Renato Sanchez is a good super sub. Alex Tellez we could sell, but I like Alex Tellez a lot. Who else do we have? We have Nani's team of the season. We have Alexis Sanchez. Just a ton of guys that are really good players that can come off the bench now. We have Carlos Vela. So I really like a lot of these cards, and I like bringing on different players to try them out. I want to play a little bit. I want to play around a little bit with Max Chem. The only thing with Max Chem is the players, because they're all on 10 Chem, it's just very spammy. Very spammy. So if you're playing online, it can be really bizarre seeing like some bronze players that some guy might have like playing incredible, like they're playing out of their skin. So anyway, kind of rambling, getting a little off topic here, but yeah, so happy with that pull. We come up against this next opponent. What game would this be? Is this game number 3, I think? Yeah, game number 3. So yeah, game number 3, game number 8 totals. Sorry, guys. I know that doesn't make for very good entertainment, but I'm honestly getting so confused. So many moving parts with this 2-part series. I guess my brain works in a very linear fashion. So I think this is game 8. We ended up scoring very early with Phil Foden, and then he ends up tying it, but we'd like dominated in terms of possession. This guy was really deep. He had like I think he must have had like 1 drop back going on, and then there you go, we brought on Carlos Vela, nice little drawback, and we ended up scoring a goal to make it 2-1 to the good. And then I had a couple other opportunities where I really thought that we should have done better here. Like I thought Bruno Fernandes should have put that away, but that was just my fault. Bad shooting. I went too central. Yeah, and then here he ends up scoring a goal, which drag back there, but even David Alaba probably should have gotten a foot in. And Kunko, you don't see that card too often. He created a passing lane, so I'm not going to hate on it too much, but he probably shouldn't have had that opportunity based on the fact that he should have been tackled before. And then opportunities like this, again, consider the source here. I'm the guy who thinks that he should be winning every single game, right? So there is that element to it, but a lot of opportunities where we should have been up. We do go up 3-2, but it could have been 4-5-2 in my opinion at this point. Couple my fault, couple that are the fault of the computer here. I thought this one really should have gone in. I waited that out perfectly, tried to cut the passing lane. I read that, was going to shoot it, and then the ball just jumped off of Jamie Vardy's foot. I didn't hold sprint there. I didn't do anything. It just literally, when I turned up, it's like the computer just viewed it as like it ragdolled almost. Not ragdolled, but it's like his brain went and the ball like removed from being locked into the player, and it just hit off the body type and or the body's frame and just bounced off. Like, it was really bizarre. I think a lot of that just had to do with coding, but very frustrating because I probably should have gone up 4-2 there. And as you guys see, when you miss opportunities or when the game screws you, what's going to happen, right? Another opportunity where I had his last goal, I had a tackle on. He ends up kind of warping through it, and then he ends up doing this. Like, I had a really good position. I was like gonna let him walk right into my defender. Again, Tomori, terrible card. But like here, I was there, and you can see him just move out of the way. Like, I just left my guy there because I wanted to position him to block that, to like literally just stand there and have him do the McGeady spin into me. And my player moves out of the way and does one of these. So I was very frustrated with that. I was like, I didn't think this guy deserved the draw, but he wasn't a bad opponent. It was just that individual play has been very frustrating. So it got me a little bit tilted there, but whatever. What are you going to do? You get frustrated at a video game, you're the only one that's going to pay for that, right? It's just going to hurt your own mental sanity here. So we come up against this guy, Peruvian badge here. This player, one of the weaker opponents, I guess we would say during this. When I looked at his team, I didn't think this was too... I don't know what I did here from an editing standpoint. But yeah, when I looked at this guy's team, I didn't expect it to be that good, to be totally honest with you. But he ended up making a couple subs, including bringing on a red 98 rated Neymar. I don't know how the hell he ended up packing that. But, that just goes to show you how, with all due respect to this guy, like, not the greatest FIFA player in the world, unless he went on some incredible run, but like a 98 rated Neymar, like you don't even see like top 100 guys get 98 rated. I just think this FIFA has been very unrewarding to people that probably deserve better rewards. But, that's a whole other conversation. So we end up going up 2-0 against this guy. I think personally his team was probably just getting handicapped a little bit from, I'm guessing, morale, based on the way the team was playing. Because my first goal, I created the opportunity, but 9 times out of 10, that David Luiz would have put in a stupid block because that card's broken. Some guys just are beasts, and then they just put in like auto blocks, and David Luiz is one of them, and he didn't. He kind of short-legged it. And then my second one, I took a shot. It was an okay angle, but it wasn't an opportunity that I thought was deserving of a goal, and his keeper parries it into the net. So that's usually reflective of a team that's getting like some DDA against him, and then he ends up scoring that ridiculous nonsense with his Neymar. I get it, it's 98 rated Neymar, but like, look, he took a pass. He didn't even have, I don't even want to call it an opportunity because he didn't even have an opportunity on. He literally had the ball, turned away from goal, and then he just hit shoot, and the player hooked it around the defender, and it flew in from outside the area. Like, it was really stupid, very undeserved. But I wasn't worried about losing to this guy. I knew that we were going to get back in it. But even there, my Jamie Vardy, that shot was kind of a half chance, low driven, which is a very unreliable shot this year. But it just goes, driving along the ground and ends up beating his keeper. So, I just left that chance in because that was the only other chance this guy had. He kind of created a little bit, I guess, but not really a whole lot. He was just really aggressive with his team and wasn't generating a whole lot of offense. I was being a little bit generous, I guess, with some of the clips. For the most part, it was very one-sided. This guy didn't really have much of a chance. My goals were a little bit cheese, but the score line was deserved, but I don't know if the individual chances that I scored were deserved, if that makes any sense. Like, they were very random. And I think that overall has just been kind of one of my frustrations in general with the game, is that, like, sometimes you'll create a pass, or you'll create a shooting opportunity, which is something that should be rewarded. And then there's other times, there's that short leg by David Luiz. There's other opportunities that should be rewarded, which aren't. And it's, unfortunate because it makes it very frustrating. So I think that's where a lot of the anger comes from a lot of people that are playing FIFA, is that when they create opportunities that they think should be rewarded, they actually aren't. But whatever. It's so late in the game. I think that's always been an issue with FIFA. I think it always will be an issue with FIFA. There's so much RNG in the game because there's so many players that you're not in control of, that I don't know what the answer is, but it's a little bit of a tough one. Anyway, so we go into our final game of the day here. We come up against this guy. He's got the gold goat, which I think, what do you need? 300 wins from, FUT champs in order to get that gold goat. So it's something that I'm not even close to because I haven't played a whole lot of FUT champs this year. But this guy's going to be a decent opponent because he's got 300 FUT champs wins. And he was using a bronze player at striker. And like I said, I think this guy, like one of the previous ones, had silvers, had bronzes, but the other guy took them out. This guy was actually using that player. I don't know why. I don't know what objective he could have possibly been doing. But, he probably should have taken him out, but I guess he thought I was going to be some chump in Div 5 and he was going to walk all over. Little did he know. On that opportunity, I actually thought that I should have scored there. Phil Foden, that low driven is a really, really useful cross. And it was just very frustrating that it didn't go in. It went flying off of he had half of the net to shoot at, and it conveniently hits the keeper, hits the crossbar, and goes out right to his player. And then he scores that, which set me on fire because I was like, I had the tackle on. He just bounces off of the tackle, and then again, RNG. And then the other thing was, after he bounces off of the tackle, he plays it to a player, and my defender didn't identify him. He just literally stood there watching it. So there we hit another crossbar, just very frustrating first half, right? Like I thought I had 2 chances that probably should have went in from decent scoring opportunities where his goal had the tackle on, he bounces off the tackle, and then the shot, my player should have actually, like, even there, right? My player should have actually, like, tracked that there. Like I had a tackle on and his player just warps through it. I was thankful that he actually, like, lobbed it instead of just walking in and shooting it. He probably actually should have scored. But yeah, like, it was just like, this was one of those games, right, where it was just kind of like, okay, very frustrating. Like, again, I don't know what tactic this is, but you can see, I don't know if it's man marking or what it is, but this tactic has been so frustrating because it's like just follows every single player. You have no room and they're so aggressive. So it's one of the ones that I'd be really interested, if you guys know what that is, like that man marking. It's very useful, but it's just very overpowered. It just, every guy is covered all the time and like with a whole lot of aggression. Like when you get the ball, like you can see here, there's no passing options for me. Every single player is just covered one after the other. So it was very frustrating. But we end up getting a goal with Carlos Vela again. Decent little sub there, and played a little skip pass through and ended up scoring. He was just generating all these kind of spammy opportunities. But again, a lot of that has to do with just the custom tactics. This guy wasn't a bad player, but he's a good player because of custom tactics, because he knows how to abuse them. So that was a very frustrating game to play. I would wish going forward that EA just tone that stuff down, because it's creating... It's not me. It's not like I'm just like, oh, I deserve to win that game. It's because good FIFA players are good at abusing tactics. I just want like that to be abolished, because it's removing the skill gap, right? It's just half of the battle is fighting the game in those situations, and you have to be good enough to do it, to fight the game, but at the same time, fighting the game is very annoying. But regardless, that was the 10th game. That was enough of me pissing and moaning. That was the 10th game. We end up getting our 2 90-plus rated players. First one, Argentina, gets me all excited. Right mid, my smile drops, and then... here we go, Salvio, 94 rated Salvio. So fodder, but again, as I've said multiple times, what are you going to use it for unless you just rinse it through other 90-plus packs, but then it becomes this perpetuating, revolving door of annoyance, because you're just getting high-rated players. You're having to fill them up with other filler that are costing you money just to get another player that's trash. So you're just kind of mulching through the same stuff. And then the group reward is Zahavi. So 2 trash players that I had no interest in, but they are going to be fodder. And then they released a man of the match, Thiago. So I had packed that Thiago, that team of the season one, but I want to get this 96 rated one because he is going to go into my squad. And then after what we packed yesterday, which will be in the next video, you guys will see what team we're looking at building for our second fitness team. So stay tuned to that. But that is going to be the end of the episode, guys. I appreciate you all for sticking with me to the very end. And until next time, guys, take care. Peace.